Welcome back to Bridge the Gap. I'm C. This is Brandon. So, I want to have a discussion about a non popular topic, especially in our community. I want to discuss black men's mental health. And as a country, as a society, do we actually care about a black man's mental health? Now, I came up with the old school mentality of, you're a man, whatever you're dealing with, you have to suck it up and keep moving. Now, my thought process on that has changed as I got older because I saw the effect that it has on men as they get older. The whole idea of you can just keep taking it and keep taking it, it does have a effect on you, either mentally or physically. Sometimes you can suppress stuff and it has an effect on you physically because we're not taught to process and deal with emotions because we're not supposed to have emotions, right? But we are people, which is sad. So, and the thing about it is, I think when I was younger, probably around your age, I wasn't aware of all these things. Because, I was dealing with stuff, but always had that mindset of you keep moving, you keep grinding. And, that's punk stuff. Like, you don't worry about that. You don't worry about your emotions or someone hurt your feelings or some type of trauma. But as I got older, I just kept seeing effects on men because we don't talk about things. And I was like, wow, this stuff really, this affects us the same way. It's just we don't talk about it. No one really cares. Mm-hmm. That's what I feel as though no one cares. But from your perspective of your age, do you see the effects of it, or more so like you don't really know what I'm talking about?
I definitely see effects of it, I guess, because like you was kind of saying, it's kind of like we're taught to just man up and roll with the punches sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Like in today's society, I feel like men are considered like weak, quote unquote, by some people if we're like emotional or express our emotions, because in society that's considered like females are the emotional one and men supposed to not be that way. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, we're not robots or anything. Like, men have emotions. I just think, in society's view, we're supposed to handle it differently. Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess it is what it is as far as like that viewpoint on society, by society. Mm-hmm. But I guess because as men, we have so much expectations of us, like leading a family, providing for the family. A woman might say, she don't want no weak man because of that,
Right.
But we're not actually weak. We're just,
Human.
We have emotions too. Mm-hmm. It's just always been expected of man to handle it differently. Mm-hmm. I guess not be so vocal about it, like you just say, not be a punk about it or whatever. But yeah,
True. And it's funny because no one talks about it, or they kind of like diminish it as far as men get abused as well, right? We don't want to talk about that or even admit to it. And I know a lot of times men are insensitive to that too, because you think, well, how'd that happen to you? But men are physically abused. They're mentally abused. Men do get raped as well. Like, this stuff happens, especially at a young age. That's trauma that men have to deal with. And there's no outlet for them, for someone to talk to on how to deal with that. So having conversations with different guys, sometimes I would have an ignorant response because a friend once asked me, "You never had a woman hit you before?" And
like
out
it's
of
normal, like, or
no, not normal, but like, you never experienced that. Like, out of anybody, I kind of laughed initially, like, because I thought he was joking.
Right.
Then I sat back, was like, "Yo, he's serious." I said, no, I've never, like, no, I never experienced that. I'm not, I'm someone, I don't believe in ever putting my hands on a woman, but at the same time, I'm not going to let you put your hands on me. You know what I mean? So, but it happens more often than we think. Just because I don't experience it doesn't mean that it doesn't occur in life.
Right.
And there's the mental abuse of somebody putting you down constantly, and you're not a man. You need to do this, that, and the third. That stuff has effect on you, especially over time. Especially if you're hearing it from someone that you're supposed to be vulnerable to and care about. Because you actually do care about their opinion. So that can be dragging on you, but there's definitely abuse. It's not one-sided. It happens to men and it happens to women, unfortunately.
So, just to piggyback off of that a little bit, I saw on Twitter one time. It was like this video of this guy being physically abused by his baby mom, and it's so crazy how it's like a different energy. Let's just say if it was a girl getting abused, right?
Ooh.
Nobody would have been laughing. But when his baby mom was hitting him and calling him all types of names and disrespecting them in front of their kids, everybody laughing like, yo, bro, fight back, laughing emojis. Or just all these laughing emojis on the video. But it's like, let that happen to a woman, in his place. Y'all would have said, oh, he need to go to jail instantly.
How about that?
Call him, all these types of names. But when you turn around, you see both men and women laughing for the most part.
Right.
You did have both men and women coming to the defense like, yo, she drawing. But for the most part, what I'm trying to say is it's a different energy, when it comes to men and women in regards to emotional, physical, mental abuse. So.
Right. It's almost, why is it? It's almost okay to abuse a man, right? Because you're just supposed to take it, which I don't get. There's an example, since you brought up Twitter. I was looking at this YouTube clip, and there's like an argument between this man and this woman. He basically was defending himself. So in the comment section, some lady said, why would you say those things to her? Why are you so mean to her? And his response was like, did you not see what she said to me? So his thing was in reaction. And her response to him was, so what? I think that sums up the mentality perfectly, right? So, okay, you got abused, you got hit, so what? That's how they feel in general.
Right.
How is that okay? How is that healthy? If that's not toxic, I don't know what that is. So, as a man, you're in a position, let's say he did do something, then he'd be in the wrong.
Right.
So, no matter what, you're in a lose-lose situation.
He'll probably be in jail.
Exactly. Right? And like I said, we're not condoning any type of, physical harm to anybody.
Not at all, no.
But we're just talking about realistically, it's okay, and they've normalized abusing a black man because you stand up for yourself, now you look a certain way. Now you're abusive because you're trying to defend yourself.
Right.
It's just cool, and I'll give like an example of what, and when we're talking, I'm not trying to attack anybody, a group or anything, because my experience are with black women, so I'm going to have conversations in regards to that. So I was talking to an ex one time, and because I was telling her, I called her out because she lied about something, and I called her in a lie. So she was telling me about a previous experience with a man that she was with that basically knew that she was cheating and knew that she cheated, right? And he called her out on it. And she was like, I kept telling him, no, you're crazy, this, that, and the third, and denying it. She was like, I just looked at him crazy, like, what? I wouldn't do that, this, that, and the third. and he started doubting himself. What I'm saying is that's kind of a tactic, and people don't understand. You can hurt someone physically, and they can heal from that, right? Just in time without even doing anything. When you create mental scars, that's more difficult to heal from. So it's almost like a manipulation and mental warfare.
Right.
She normalized like making somebody doubt themselves. And when you start doubting who you are and what you think, that stuff has an effect on you.
Yeah.
As far as relationships, and that's insane. Because, most men, we can't think like that. We don't think like to hurt someone mentally or really warp their mentality. But that is a tactic. And once again, I'm not attacking women. I'm just giving an example of what that effect could have on a man. So now you're sitting back and as men, as a real man, the first thing you do is sit back and think, well, what did I do? Right? You don't look to blame anybody else. So, and I want to say to a lot of men, which is hard for us to, I guess, understand or take in, it's not always our fault. Because we always take that on. Nobody wants to admit that. But as a man, I'm not talking about boys. I'm talking about a man.
Right.
You always look to yourself first. Sometimes it's just not our fault. Sometimes people are doing stuff and you are right. It's a tactic that they use and they mess with your head. Right. And it's sad because you don't know any better because you're a good person. Right. You know what I mean? So you just got attacked and your reality's warped. Right. It's like, wait a minute. Then you find out, like, I was right all along. But you had me thinking all types of... And another thing is, I don't know, because of ego, men don't talk to each other about these situations. Now, I think in my age bracket, it's happening more often with experience, and we're just talking like, look, this is what I... Like, yo, you too? It's like now we can kind of like congregate and have these conversations where, yeah, I went through the same thing. Dude, you're not crazy. Right. I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of us just want reassurance that we're not crazy. And it's hard to get, especially in relationships and things like that nature. But I know, when I was your age, there was no outlet. It was just you dealt with what you dealt with because you kind of on an island. Right. And you don't know until you're older. It's like, oh, man, I didn't have to go through that. Or that's not normal. And I think nowadays the judgment's different. I think, like you said, some people view them as weak. It may not be so much as weak, but maybe they're able to voice their theories and their feelings a little bit more. My generation, no, you just couldn't do that. Right. If you even talk about feelings, everybody shut down on you. Right. Like, dude, what you talking about? But I think we are moving to a healthier place, but we're not there. Like, it's still that double standard. It's still okay to abuse. But I think more people, because of social media, when you tell stories about going through issues, and now more people can relate and reach out to you, dude, I understand. Right. You're still going to get hate. You're still going to get ignorant people. But I think it is getting better. Now, I can't say 100% that, we're there, but I have faith. Right. Hopefully.
Now, like you said, too, with the whole social media being what it is now, it's definitely creating more awareness for mental health. A lot of men and women are getting a lot of mental health help, through social media. So social media is not a bad thing all the time.
True.
But
yes, it's a balance.
And, well, actually, speaking on social media, that has a lot to do with mental health. Because it's like we was talking about a little bit earlier, like so much expectations of a man and stuff like that. And we'll go in there and see us being attacked a lot on social media. Like that can, that's a whole nother conversation, but that can really have a big effect on our mental health as well. It's like, we're being attacked by women that claim they love black men.
Yo, yeah.
But that's a different conversation.
Yeah, no, that's true. Black man, you're supposed to be doing A, B, C, and D.
Right.
but you are doing A, B, C, and D, but you aren't doing what that other person is doing.
Exactly.
Like one little thing, so now you get demeaned and you're not a
Mm-hmm.
man, and a real man would have did this. Like,
Right.
wait, how do you know what a real man would do?
Right.
A real man wouldn't have those type of feelings. How do you know? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But I think at the end of the day, everyone needs to realize, real men are carrying a lot, and they are human. Now, I'm not saying, sit around and spill your feelings and cry every single
Right.
day, but I think we need to learn how to deal with feelings because they, not dealt with will have a negative effect. Anyone carrying trauma, issues of that nature, is going to have effect on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to affect your relationship, just how you view your outlook on life. Now, it's not popular in our community, but I definitely would suggest, talking to somebody, a therapist. Your friends aren't always going to understand, you know, and it depends on your circle of friends, right? Because some
Right.
people don't have progressive minded friends that can be unbiased when talking about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But, I know we're skeptical and it's just not something, but man, we're all dealing with something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a bad thing to talk to somebody. Just get a perspective and start dealing with something because it'll help you at the end of the day.
Right.
Like you want to grow, you don't want to stay stuck in that trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It's just then you become a toxic person. Then you can't complain about dealing with toxic people because you
Right.
become one now. It's like,
Right.
so it all depends on what you want out of life.
Mm-hmm.